Okay, for 1 to 3, we're going to use mental math, or I like to have the little scoops. So, um, 22.9 divided by 10. Well, if you divide by 10, it means the number's getting smaller, and this is a power of 10. So you decide how many decimal places it would move over. In this case, it would move over 1 and make the answer 2.29. For the second question, it says 6,841.4 divided by 100. Once again, it's a power of 10, and we're getting smaller, and 100 would be two place values, so we would move the decimal 1, 2 places, and our answer would be 68.414. Apologize for the handwriting. I'm using my mouse tonight. I don't have my stylus today. The last one, 40.5 divided by 1,000. Once again, we're getting smaller, so it's a power of 10. So this would be 3 decimal places over. So this would be 1, 2, and we have to add in another 0. So decimal place would go there. We'd have to put in a 0 in front of the 4. So 0, 4, 0, 5. Or better said, 0.0405. So 0. Sorry, I'm not using a stylus today. I'm using my mouse to do all this work. So 0.0405. All right, let's move on to the next problem. Draw a line to match each expression with its quotient. So 123.55 divided by 10. Well, divided by 10 means I would get smaller by 1 decimal place. So the decimal place would go between the 2 and the 3. So 12.355. That's straight across. 10 to the third would mean I move the decimal, divide by 12, 10 to the third, would mean I'd move the decimal 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3 would go in front of the 1. So 0.12355 would be that. And the last one is 10 squared. 123.55 divided by 10 squared. Once again, dividing by a power of 10, so I can move the decimal over 1, 2 times, and it would end up between the 1 and the 2. So 1.2355 would be that one right there. Oops, that was me writing earlier tonight, so let me erase this. Which expression shows the best compatible numbers to use to approximate the quotient of 2,941 and 61? Well, I'm looking at these, and this is close to 30 or 29. This is close to 60, so I'm looking for compatible numbers, which are good numbers to use for mental math. And, yep, looking at these, I think the best numbers would be something like 30 divided by 6, and the answer that makes sense would be 3,000 divided by 60. That would be a nice mental math number. 28 divided by 6 does not go evenly. 29 divided by 7 doesn't go evenly. 31 divided by 7 doesn't go evenly. So yeah, that's the answer that makes the most sense. Mr. Olkowski has 19 minutes to have individual conferences with 5 students today. He wants to give every student exactly the same amount of time. Exactly. Exactly how many minutes will he spend with each student? Write your answer as a decimal, show all work, and write your answer on the line provided. Okay, well, I have 19 minutes, and I need to divide that into exactly 5 equally sized parts. I'm definitely going to have something beyond the decimal point, so let's see what that is. 5 goes into 19 three times. 3 times 5 is 15. My remainder is 4. So now I'm going to be after the decimal place. I'll bring down 0. 5 goes into 40. 8 times. 8 times 5 is 40. I have no more remainder. So the answer is 3.8 minutes per student. When Mr. Lipkovsky behaves, Mrs. Lipkovsky gives him money to buy snacks. For the last 2 weeks, Mr. Lipkovsky received a total of $27.86 for 14 days of great behavior. How much money did Mr. Lipkovsky receive every day he behaved? Well, I received a total of $27.86, and that was for 14 days of good behavior. Alright, well, the decimal place is going to go right there. Does 14 go into 2? No. Does 14 go into 27? Yeah, it does. 14 times 2 is 28. That's too much, so I'm going to put 1 times 14 is 14. My remainder is 7 minus 4, 3. 2 minus 1, 1. So now I can bring down my 8, and I have to figure out how many times does 14 go into 138. So if I do a little mental math here, 10 times 14 is 140. So obviously it's not going to be 10, but 9 probably is going to work because 138 is really close to 140. So I'm going to put 9 over here on the side here. This will be my little scrap work. 9 times 14. Sorry, I'm using my what do you call it, mouse today, so my handwriting is extra sloppy, but hopefully you can follow my work. 9 times 4 is 36. Carry the 3. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 3 is 12. 126. Alright, so if I put that 9 up here, 9 times 14 is 126. My remainder would be 8 minus 6 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. And I bring down the 6. That's a pretty familiar number. How many times does 14 go into 126? Well, we already figured that out over here. So once again, it's 9 times 14 is 126. My remainder is 0. So it's $1.99 per day for my good behavior. 14 days times 199. Yep, that's where I get that $27.86. Number 8. Circle yes or no to tell if the number 100 will make each equation true. So I'm dividing by 100. So in this case, every one of these, I need to move the decimal from where it is 2 spaces to the left. All right, so if it's here, I need to move 1, 2 spaces to the left. That number would be 3.55, which is not the same as 35.5, so this is a big no. Next one. Divide by 100. 72 divided by 100. Well, the decimal's here. I would move it 2 places. So that would be 0.72 or 0.72, which is not the same as 7.2, so that's another no. Here, if I took, should be an empty box here. Little mistake I made. 9.3 divided by 100 would mean I move the decimal 1, 2 spaces. So I'd have to fill in a 0 here. So I'm actually going to write that here so you can see. So that would be 0.093, which is not the same as 0.93. There's another 0 in before the decimal place. So this is another no. And this one, 785 divided by 100 would be 1, 2 spaces over, 7.85. Yep, 0.85 does match, so there's a big yes. Alright, now we got some plain old divisions. How many times is 9 going to 22.86? Alright, well, my decimal place is going to go right there. Let's do some math. 9 goes into 2, it doesn't. 9 goes into 22. How many times? Well, 3 times 9 is 27, so that's too much. So 2 times 9 is 18. My remainder is 22 minus 18 is 4. I would now bring down the 8. So 9 goes into 48. How many times? Goes into 48 5 times. 5 times 9 is 45. Remainder is 3. Bring down the 6. How many times 9 go into 36? 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 4, so 4 times 9 is 36. No more remainder. And we get ourselves a 0 there.